Hello collectors, this is Joseph Prodzik with Statue Review. If you're anything like me and you try to sneak down the hallway in a cardboard box to avoid telling your wife how much you just paid for your latest statue, then you're probably going to enjoy today's review. In 1987, the first Metal Gear video game was released for the MSX2. That game was the first of many successful video games in the Metal Gear franchise and introduced us to Solid Snake and Big Boss, who is also known as Snake. I'm not going to go into too many details about which Snake is which, as the storyline for Metal Gear is notoriously complicated. We'll just keep it simple for this review. This is Snake as seen in Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, and the upcoming The Phantom Pain. I am really impressed by the art box and packaging for Snake. The front of the box contains some nice graphics and is instantly recognizable for anyone who has played the video game. Snake and his three portraits can be seen in an opening of the box, which has a very faint Fox logo that you may not be able to see in this video. One side of the box has a description of Snake and Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, while the other has artist credits. The back of the box has an amazing illustration of Snake by the famous Metal Gear artist Yoji Shinkawa, who also supervised the design of this piece. Upon opening the box, you will find a small card with the same illustration. After pulling Snake out of his plastic, I noticed that there was a cardboard insert that you are able to pull out of the box. The insert has a nice picture of Snake with his night vision goggles on and contains instructions on how to put Snake together. Snake was packaged well, and Gecco took great care to ensure all of his different parts didn't rub together in the box. Snake stands poised to strike with knife in one hand, pistol in the other, and an assault rifle slung over his shoulder. The statue oozes danger and menace. Take one look in Snake's eye and you know he means business. The statue is emblematic of the different ways you can play Ground Zeroes. You can sneak around the battlefield and silently take down your opponents with knife, dart gun, or a silenced assault rifle. If you prefer to go in loud and shoot up the place, you can do that too, which is why Snake's assault rifle comes both with and without a silencer. Each of Snake's three portraits are also reflective of how you can play the game. One portrait is unblemished and free from damage. Another shows Snake after being roughed up by his enemies. The third shows Snake with night vision goggles. One complaint I have with some other video game statues is that they do not always reflect how I played the game. So it is nice that Gecco gave us some different display options to better reflect our gaming experience. From top to bottom, Snake is an insanely detailed piece, and I am in awe of all the small details that are incorporated into his design. Each of Snake's portraits are fantastic. His feathered hair is great. You can see the veins in his forehead, and Gecco even put stitching in his eye patch. Snake is carrying multiple pouches on his waist in addition to the tape recorder that he uses in-game, and they are all well detailed. I like that the fox patch and straps of his uniform are made to look like a different material than that of the uniform itself, which matches the strap of the rifle, which is a separate piece. Speaking of the uniform, look at those tiny little buttons. Insane. One complaint with the sculpt is that Snake's neck does seem a little on the long side. In addition, Snake's beard appears to have grown over the strap on the eye patch. Perhaps he has a long beard that covers the strap, but as someone who frequently wears a beard, I do not think this was the correct choice, as it looks a little odd, but this is not something that is easily seen. The first thing I noticed when I took Snake out of the box was how shiny his uniform is. It appears that Gecco was going for a wet look for Snake's uniform, as the art inside of the box shows him standing in the rain. While done well, the wet look doesn't seem to apply to the rest of Snake and his uniform. Other than that small complaint, the rest of the paint is outstanding. Snake has great shading from head to toe. Paint on the pouches could have very easily been one color, but they are not. When something is made of a different material, it should be painted differently, and that is done here. I cannot find any signs of sloppy paintwork on this piece. Snake's base is simple, yet no less impressive than the rest of him. Snake is standing next to a small piece of rubble that is scarred from gunshots and explosions. Rebar sticks out the side of the concrete, and the entire thing is painted just as well as Snake himself. Though done well, the bottom of the base does seem a little thin and flimsy, so I did need to take some care when attaching Snake. Snake is 1/6 scale and comes in one solid piece, with the alternate portraits and rifle coming separately. I found no difficulty switching out his heads, but they do require a little bit of muscle when first used. As Snake is made out of PVC, I felt more than comfortable with giving him some added pressure as he feels pretty solid. Some additional care does need to be taken when switching the silencer on the rifle, as it is a little more fragile than Snake himself. I did have a little bit of trouble attaching Snake to his base. His feet attached to the base using foot pegs, much like an action figure, and they weren't quite lining up correctly. I didn't feel quite as confident putting some added pressure in this case because the base is not as solid as Snake, and I didn't want to take any chances breaking the piece. When I turned the statue and base upside down, I found it quite easy to attach. The overall build quality of the statue is quite good. Snake is available in Japan for 21,000 yen, which is approximately 175 US dollars depending on exchange rates, but you can expect to pay a little bit more than that. I think the statue is a steal at $200, but I would be comfortable paying somewhere in the $250 range from a reputable seller. There's no edition size listed for this statue, and so that means Snake's future value and collectability is questionable. It would not surprise me though to see the statue rising in value once it is sold out, but prices should remain reasonable for the next few years, especially if Gecco releases more pieces from the upcoming The Phantom Pain. Snake is Gecco's second statue from Metal Gear, with the first being Raiden from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and I am very impressed. Though I am not a big fan of the Raiden character, I am tempted to buy him just because of how amazing this Snake statue is. The attention to detail and authenticity of the piece shows that Gecco has a passion for what they are doing. Snake gives me the feeling that this was a statue made by Metal Gear fans for Metal Gear fans, and that makes me excited for Gecco's future releases. Snake is a dangerous character, and you can see that when you look at this statue. Emotion can be hard to capture in a statue, but Gecco has successfully done that. Though the statue is not flawless, it's pretty close. I'm giving Snake a final review score of 4.5 for amazing. This is easily one of the most impressive pieces in my collection, and Gecco is a company that I'm going to be keeping my eye on in the future. I will be posting an extended look of Snake soon, so make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this amazing Metal Gear statue. For more statue reviews and updates on my collection, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to visit my website for a full gallery of this piece and more. This has been Joseph Prodzik for Statue Review. Thanks for watching.